right, Bobby, we're back. Welcome back to the POScast. Back to the wonderful world of Quentin Tarantino with Inglourious Basterds.
Gorlami. Gorlami.
Our third Tarantino, Bobby. Pulp Fiction, Django, Inglourious Basterds. Probably the best place to start is, what's the hierarchy here, Bob? These are probably his three best. I know you're a way bigger fan of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood than I am. Reservoir Dogs, the OG, gets a lot of love. Hateful Eight in there, Kill Bill. But what's his best after these three that we've done?
And we're assuming that people won't go back and listen to Pulp Fiction and Django when we did list them. And I'm positive we did it totally different both times.
I'm sure we did.
Yeah.
but this is the most current.
Because I'm going to do it different this time. I don't know if this is because I've seen it too many. I found myself fast-forwarding a little bit. Like, I've seen this movie a lot. And so but that's something. That means something. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. It's Tarantino at his best. But I think, in no particular order, I think Pulp, Reservoir Dogs, I think all of them are ahead of this one. I think Pulp, Reservoir Dogs, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Django are over this, which is saying something because this might be maybe one of my, 35 greatest movies of all time. It's saying something, which goes back to my point that I made a couple podcasts ago is I may be prisoner of the moment. I know those other guys haven't made a bunch of movies lately, but I think Tarantino's the best. In the Hall of Fame plaque of best directors of all time, I think it's Tarantino's face on it. And that almost sounds blasphemous to say, but I think it is, man. These movies are awesome. They're so unique and they're so different from one another. I don't know how you put any of those guys above them, and that just shows how good those other guys are. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, he doesn't have the filmography of Spielberg. I mean, you almost have to take Spielberg out of it. Tarantino's really good. I found, similar to you, I think in my mind, Inglourious Basterds was always my favorite of his. But so these three, which I think are probably his three best, Pulp's just the best movie. I just don't think there's any eclipsing that from its originality. But in a weird way, Django is probably more fun to watch than this, just because I think you get more Christoph Waltz in Django than you do in this. I was kind of like Hans Landa is an incredible character, and I think kind of sparkled that guy onto the map. He's not really in this movie as much as I remember, right? Do you kind of have this memory of Hans Landa being a major force in this movie versus, the dentist in Django? He's like all over that film, right?
This guy was just so unique. Remember, this was his breakout performance.
Right.
This was the first time you saw him, and you couldn't believe how good he was. And then in Django, it kind of hurt him because he was like, oh, is he kind of almost playing the same type of, not the same type of guy, but like, okay, I think I've seen this before. So that's why this performance was so good. But I don't know if he's the best. I don't think he's the best character in the movie, which is amazing as well.
Well, who do you got? Pitt's fantastic in this thing.
Aldo Raines, he's amazing.
Yeah,
he's so good. I've got a list in Bob's Big Questions of words that you say normally or the way Raines says them. Which one do you prefer? There's like 10 of them. It's so good. He's the Heath Ledger, and I would have said before I watched this, maybe the second time, I'd be like, oh, it's Landa for sure. But he's the Heath Ledger award winner. I just wanted Lieutenant Aldo Raines on that screen. One, because it's hilarious, and all of the quotes I wrote down are from him. And two, I'm not positive he's a good actor. We'll debate. We'll talk about that.
Where do you stand on Pitt's accent in this movie?
I don't know. Well, he's from somewhere in Tennessee. I forget. I wrote it down, Maryville, Tennessee, or something like that. But it's not a backwoods redneck accent. It's almost like a foreign redneck. It's like if a redneck came from Austria or something like that. But I love it. It's awesome. And his facial expressions, I think you just say bingo. It's awesome.
He was really good. Hard to believe, Bobby. 16 years ago, although, Tarantino, as much as we love him, not sure what he's doing. I guess he's the one guy who's made enough money because we're not making any movies. It's been since 19, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, his last film. So this decade, we've got nothing. This thing did better at the box office than I would have thought. Bob, I'm going to start quizzing you on this because we all know your recollection and your affinity for dollars in today's day. How do you think this thing did, Bob? Over, under $350 million, Inglourious Basterds.
Wow, you shouldn't have. Well, I would have said if you would have told me to guess, which is the way you should have done it, I would have said 150 million, 175 million.
320 million. Way better than I would have thought. And that's good enough for number 18 worldwide back in 2009. At the time of release, this was his highest grossing film. It has since been eclipsed by Django Unchained, but it still ranks number 2 in the all-time Tarantino filmography. Bobby, 2009. Any guesses on the number 1 movie at the box office this year? It was a absolute runaway, almost $3 billion for the number 1 film.
It's unfair because now you pick on me. You make me feel stupid. But if I asked you before you did the research, hey, 2009, what's the best movie? There's no way you would know it. There's no way you would know it, correct?
Of course I would know it. It was Avatar. Bob. What are your all-time?
Well, you said
Avatar.
That's like, name, who's this baseball player in a blind test, and one of them hit over 700 home runs and the other didn't. It's pretty a giveaway if he made $3 billion.
Shohei Ohtani. Bob, other notable movies in 2009. The Hangover, covered on this podcast, maybe the last great comedy of our lifetimes. The Blind Side, my oldest daughter, who is yet to appear on the pod, her favorite movie of all time. District 9, Bobby, a movie that we love. And if there's a movie that needs a sequel, we've lambasted sequels on this movie. We need District 10.
It's
correct?
the only sequel I wanted. It's the only sequel other than Dune 2, and I'm in the middle of watching. I'm rewatching Dune 2. If they can land the plane on this thing and just make them the one, don't sugarcoat it. Don't make it all like, was Neo the one? Was Trinity the one? Just the Lisan al-Gaib is the one, and he just dominates the entire universe. That's all we need. Don't screw this up, Villeneuve. Don't screw this up. Just give them all the power. Give them all the power.
Is that this year? Are we getting that at 25? We're getting it, or
no.
No, next year.
No,
like 26. We're getting the third.
It can't be in 2 months. There's no way it's there in 2 months. It's 26, right? Hold on.
Let's call it the 26.
No.
And Bobby, a notable beginning
26
of a franchise, one of your all-time favorites, Bob. Maybe it's turned into a bit of a shtick on itself, Bob. Do you have any guesses? The first
Equalizer?
of a franchise? No, the Fast and Furious. The OG came out.
I love him. Let's go back to District 9. Honestly, that was the only sequel I wanted. And they should have, what it was going to be like 10 years? Wasn't it something where it was like, in 2019 in real time?
We'll be back.
When
Yes.
When he comes back. Oh, yeah. What a movie. What a great, great movie. We need to talk
about dropping the ball on that. This thing critically acclaimed, Bob.
Oh, my God.
Eight Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, Original Screenplay. How his movies don't win every original screenplay blows my mind. Had only one win, Bobby. Would you guess who won?
Yeah, Londa, right? Didn't
Correct.
Christopher Waltz.
Christoph Waltz, Best Supporting Actor. Bob, this year was an incredibly controversial year for the Best Picture winner. So Avatar, Avatar has become a joke in and of itself. Like, we're getting another Avatar. Speaking of things we're getting this year, we're getting another one. I saw a preview for it, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, wait, is this the other one that came out? No, we're diving back into this. To your point, James Cameron, what are we doing? We're kind of wasting our lives. But the Best Picture in 2009, Bobby, it was not Avatar. It was a good movie, but not, I think if you had to redo it, it wouldn't be it. Do you remember 2009? Jeremy Renner.
The Hurt Locker?
The Hurt Locker. Where do you stand on that, Bobby, 16 years later? Hurt Locker v. Avatar.
Watched it once, and probably will never watch it again, but the more and more I like Renner, maybe I'll rewatch that thing. But no, it's not even close to a rewatchable movie.
No, not too good. Bobby, I won't ask you about a helicopter rating because sadly, I feel like it's a little bit of a miss. We could have had a helicopter. I mean, it is kind of in and around the war. We could have had a helicopter. But Bob, any golden schmoes here?
A million of them. A million golden schmoes. Like when you go on where I get this research, when you go on IMDb and it shows awards, it was nominated for 275 awards. Now that's worldwide. And Mark, as the viewers can tell, we've slowed a bit in our production. It's not because we don't love doing this. Life is a little busy, so I just couldn't dive into the 273 awards. Although it did win Best Foreign Film out of Australia. I saw that, and I saw a ton of golden schmoes. You know, it's funny. I want to know, I'm looking this up. If you see me looking over here, I want to know what won for original screenplay, because to your point, there's nothing more original than this film, right?
No.
All
What was it? Was it Hurt Locker? Might have been Hurt Locker.
It was Hurt Locker, which is pretty good. Inglourious Basterds, The Messenger, A Serious Man, and Up, which, if I'm not mistaken, was a cartoon. So Hurt Locker,
great movie though. I'd prefer Up over the Hurt Locker.
Oh, shots fired versus Kathleen. Well, you're a sexist. You don't like women directors. That's been well established on this podcast.
Clearly.
All right, let's jump into it, Coach.
All right, Bobby. So scenes with a Tarantino movie, it can be kind of difficult. Where do they begin? Where do they end? There's the thing I like most probably about Tarantino movies is the dialogue. The guy creates so much tension and so much drama just with two dudes literally sitting 3 feet across from each other and talking to one another. But these scenes can go on and on. I have 4, Bobby. 4 really great scenes that I have from this movie. Let me run through them with you. You can kind of fill in the gaps. But one thing that is really good, and I think all Tarantino movies do this, is he starts out with a really compelling opening scene. In this one in particular, you get to meet Hans Landa. You learn about why he's called the Jew Hunter. You got La Petite in this incredible drama going back and forth. We're in and out of languages. I don't know where the subtitles begin, where they end, what's going on. I watch everything in subtitles now. It took me a while to realize, I'm getting subtitles here because they're not speaking English. But this opening scene, incredible, correct?
Wait, the first clue that you weren't listening to English was there was subtitle. Go back again. Say that again. What were you talking about?
I watch everything in subtitles other than live sports.
But you don't watch it on mute. So when they're speaking French, they're speaking French. No, this is something silly, but it's so cool because when they're doing subtitles, there would be times when they would subtitle a French word with a French word, like we. She would say we, and it would say we, which I don't know. He obviously does it on purpose. It's so cool. But that is, that scene alone probably wins him the Academy Award, because the other scenes that he are in, except for the strudel scene, which is one of my favorite scenes, the surrender is kind of gimmicky. It's kind of comical. At the end, it's kind of comical. Like, this is the one where you're like, this is the most evil man on the face of the planet. The tension that is drawn from the music, and then again the lack of music, it was incredible. It's hard to say this isn't the best scene, the best scene of the movie.
Yeah, I think I'm going to struggle to find one better because it's very ominous. It really sets the tone. It's just Hans Landa at his absolute most evilish, right? In a lot of these movies, you're going to build to the villain. We just get right to the chase. This is the bad guy. This is the one that we're going to try to encounter the rest of the way. The next one is look, when you meet the bastards, it's really good. You get incredible nicknames in this movie. Aldo the Apache, the Bear Jew. You learn about how he carves the swastika in the guy, that he's going to let him go. That tapping bat in that tunnel, the Bear Jew's coming out, is just extraordinary. It's funny. It's kind of Tarantino at his best because you're getting all this dialogue and you get humor kind of interlaced into it. It's probably Pitt's best part of the movie, but an outstanding part here when you meet the bastards, Bobby. I
don't want to give up some of my quotes. Some of the best quotes come from the Bear Jew scene. But yes, that's, it's totally, obviously this is totally made up, but could you see this happening out there in the bush with these guys going just I know it's not supposed to be funny. It's the worst of humanity. It's probably the worst of humanity other than, them murdering Jesus Christ. It's the worst of humanity. And then they make it funny with Aldo the Apache and the Bear Jew and the way he surrenders. It's so great. The one guy, he's going to stand firm. I'm not going to do this. And he just takes it like a man. All props to him. And then he puts the map in front of the other guy and he goes, right
there. that part, a lot of Tarantino's scenes will it's kind of like to what you've said a lot of times. Like, what would you do in this scenario? I'm getting up and just running and getting shot. I want no part of this bat to the head, correct? Like, there doesn't seem to be anything worse.
Well, we'll talk about that in Bob's Big Questions. Yeah, I don't know, Coach. I don't know. That's a rock and a hard place for sure.
So you mentioned that this part probably comes after the strudel scene, if you will. You know, when kind of Hans runs back into Shoshana. I don't think there's any way he recognized her. She thinks he does, right? But that whole strudel, I didn't write it down. I'm like, is this really good? Is this really good? But you pointed out, Bob, so I'll let you sort of talk about it.
It's also my Rudy Sack when the music, when Londa comes right to her shoulder and she knows it's him. There's this like high pitched like violin. Oh yeah, this scene is unbelievable. Like that, right as they get introduced, he hears him in the background, and then they sit down. He asked for I read this. He asked for the cream on it to see if she would eat it because it's not kosher. So if she was Jewish, she wouldn't eat it. She ate it. You can tell she doesn't make a face when she eats it. She's being disrespectful. Like that's which was kind of funny about this thing. She's not giving him all of the, bowing down at his feet and showing fear. She's almost being the same way she treats the actor, the German actor. So there's a little bit of adversarial there with Londa and Shoshana, but that is right there with one of the best scenes. So I'm surprised you didn't write that down.
I was going to. It bleeds into the next scene with the the Fassbender and the three signal and that kind of thing. The strudel, I had to look it up. I'm like, why is this? Because I forgot why is the cream on the strudel such a big deal? Like he's emphasizing it. I did read that. I guess it's made with lard. A Jewish person wouldn't eat that and that type of thing. But much like the what is it, the three thing?
Yeah.
Where they eventually explained it in the movie. They don't really explain the strudel thing in the movie. So it's like I almost didn't realize what was going on. But a really good scene is in the basement tavern. You get the fight, you get the shootout. Fassbender, who's not in this movie very long, but is throwing 100 miles an hour. The infamous, what does he say? Threin? Was it, Bobby?
He does the American.
Yeah, he does this, and you're supposed to do this.
They're supposed to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Bob, do we have any hand signals in America or between you and I where if somebody did it, you would know? Like that seems pretty rare, right? Like if somebody did something like, did we have anything quite like I guess if you did touchdown, hey, touchdown, it'd be like, well, that's not how you do touchdown, or safety. Like, I guess it'd be like some sort of football signal, right? Or
like if somebody tries to flick you off, they're like, hey, and they put up the wrong finger.
Mafangu, and they do.
Mafangu you. Or like they do A-OK, but they do it like this, maybe?
Yes,
like,
maybe.
I don't know. That's a good part.
Maybe. But the shootout in the basement is epic, correct?
Wilhelm, yeah, Aldo is incredible. He gives some. I can't wait for. Is it Big Tom Callahan's advice? Best advice. I can't.
Oh, the Don Corleone.
Don Corleone, best advice. He's got two of them. One is happening in that basement. I'll wait for the category there. It's awesome, man. And Bridget von Hammersmark. Come on. We'll talk about that on her story. She's got to know that she has found out she can't go back into the theater. I know it's a little bit of fiction, but she can't go back in the theater. They're going to put two and two together that she was in that basement.
Yeah, I had some questions about Hugo, about that, about some other things, and then finally,
here's the other thing about that. So it's like, and I think we would be able to do this if we're in America. And a guy comes in talking like he's from America, we would know either he's from the South, he's from the Northeast, he's from Minnesota, but if it's like a little off, I'd be like, where are you from? You're not from that. So I think we have a little bit of that.
For sure. And what do you like? So look, dudes from Boston, obvious. New York, obvious. The South, obvious. Midwest. Chicago, Minnesota, you can pick those up. Maybe the surfer kind of thing out west. Yeah, there's definitely some regionality to the English language.
Yeah.
And the final one, Bob, which you touched on, kind of that whole, I took this as a little liberty here, the whole Hans and Aldo negotiation, you just say bingo, that whole part is really good. Burning down the cinema, which gets it's kind of like Tarantino being kind of hokey. It reminded me of the shootout in Django, just blood everywhere. And then, of course, the ending, which is pretty iconic. A lot of people think, the masterpiece comment is kind of Tarantino saying, hey, this is my best work. I guess we can sort of talk about that. But the whole ending of it is really good. And what I liked about it, look, it's a long movie. It's 2.5 hours. But I think like Tarantino sometimes will drag it out a little too long. I'm glad that he just ends it there. But that whole ending thing, I think, was pretty good.
Yeah, that's I think that's perfect. I added the shoe scene with Bridget von Hammersmark when he kills her. He's like leaps across her, which is pretty funny. So I guess I didn't have much more than you, but yeah, the surrender scene is great. You know, could this ever happen? We'll talk. I've got some questions and some bad decisions towards the end of the movie here, but I mean, I think that's a really cool scene, and I love. He's like. I made a deal for that man's life. Nah, they just care about you. You're going to be hung. I'm just going to be chewed out. I've been chewed out before. I think I'm just going to get chewed out. Which is true. Which is true. He's not going to get court-martialed. He's not going to get anything. Nobody cares about that guy. They just care about Hans Landa.
Bad negotiation on Landa. I think we probably both agree, Bobby, the opening scene is probably the best scene in this movie, correct?
Most iconic, best scene. Maybe followed by the introduction of the Bear Jew, or the introduction of Inglourious Basterds, or the Bastards is pretty good.
I would agree. You hit on, which might be my favorite quote of it, more like chewed out. I've been chewed out before, that kind of thing. Other than I think this just might be my masterpiece, which a lot of people think is Tarantino kind of winking at the audience saying, I think this is my best work, Bobby. But what else do you have? I usually like to let you cook during the quotes.
Any fucking ball game knocks it out of the park. I mean, it was a little much.
That accent he's laying on the Boston thing too much there a little bit.
Yeah, right? And he's talking like a guy who doesn't know baseball. That's not
correct.
What I would say if I did
Great observation. It does sound like a guy who's reading a script, not saying it from memory.
Correct. Meaning, if someone said that, we'd be like, that guy's not from America. That's not how we talk about baseball here. Aldo the Apache, we got a German here, wants to die for his country. Oblige him.
Excellent.
Gorlami. When they're talking to Landa in those Italian accents, it's so good. When he says his name, Margaretti, and he does this. He goes, Margaretti. De Coco. That's a bingo, which is obviously a big one. We're in the Nazi killing business, and cousin, business is a booming. I love that.
What is Pitt doing with his mouth this entire movie?
He's just like,
got this. What is he working there?
I don't, Coach. I don't know.
Don't know.
He's from the back hills of Tennessee. Who knows? And then watching Donnie beat Nazis to death is the closest we ever get to going to the movies. It's basically every line that Aldo says. Probably the best line in the movie is either Gorlami or, that's a bingo. That's a bingo. Is that how we say it? We just say bingo.
I don't even speak Italian. Like I said, third best.
Yes. It reminds me of and that scene reminds me of The Big Short. He goes, "This is my Quant. He's from China. He doesn't speak English. I speak English."
And I got third place in that math competition. Oh, incredible, Bobby. It's only been 16 years, or maybe it's been 16 years. Long time. What holds up? I'll give you one just to tee us up. Nazis, or as Aldo says, Nazis, as villains. Is there a more undefeated trope in a movie as having the Nazis be villains? It won't ever not work.
Yeah, correct? Is there anyone that has made the argument that, like, Nazis, they had a, maybe they had a... Nobody. There's never been anybody, and you can get into the politics of... there's nobody that has ever said the Nazis were misunderstood. I think it's a pretty universal thing to say the Nazis are the bad guys, right? Is there... I mean, even Darth Vader. I mean, maybe when we do Star Wars, it'll be like, hey, he's just, he's got to rule the universe.
I think this is the ultimate thing here, Bob. So the Nazis could never win the Edward the Longshanks Award. They were just doing their job. Like Darth Vader was just doing his job. Edward the Longshank was just doing his job.
I've got it written down. Since some of this, did you see that thing that Foreman just sent of that old picture and then the people kissed? Did you watch that?
I'm behind on. I mean, Lawhon. This is live here. Lawhon is sending out every picture we ever had from college.
It's terrifying. It's a picture of It might be Hawk. It might be Tony Hawk, and a girl just sitting there with a beer, very innocent.
The video that he made. Yeah. It looks live. Yes, correct.
The video of the picture that's 40 years old they just start kissing. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. But I put on this, since any of these voices can be used and any of this can be edited, we can never, the Edward Longshake, they cannot be the Nazis. Even though some of these soldiers are just like, what am I supposed to do? But no, it can never be the Nazis.
Correct.
It can never be the Nazis. I think we're good. I think we're on the same page there.
Good. All right, what do you got? That just teed us up, Bobby. What else you got that holds up?
Smoking? Question mark? Does smoking hold up?
Well, smoking out of Hans Landa's pipe in the beginning of the movie. Fast forward to eBay award. I need that pipe. Look, pipe smoking is kind of one of the, like, everything is a cycle, Bob. Life's just a circle. How has pipe smoking not re-entered society? You remember, like, our grandfather, he had that pipe. The smell is incredible. But it's just never, like, will Sam smoke a pipe? Or Sam's kids smoke a pipe? It has to come back.
If I have something to do with it, he's going to smoke a pipe, probably in a couple of years here. Yeah, just the way you look. Now, if this is mostly just paraphernalia, you look like a loser doing this because you're smoking illicit drugs, but yeah, just a pipe, just, and you got your grandfather's pipe. Excuse me, I don't know. I was more thinking of just sitting there smoking. There's something cool about it. And I don't know when is the last time you smoke a cigarette. The last time I smoked inhaled a cigarette, I don't think I've ever smoked a cigarette from start to finish. I've never done that. I think it was Bobby LaCitra's wedding. So it's got to be, I don't know. And me and Chad Bradshaw and his wife are on the balcony just ripping heaters. And the high that you get, it feels like I'm going to die. I mean, one smoke, it's just like, oh my gosh. So I think smoking, in movies is pretty cool, no?
It looks incredible in movies.
It does. It really does. Quentin Tarantino soundtracks. How do they pick these songs? Every song is just absolutely perfect. It just matches perfectly. I don't know how does he do this? How does he do that? How do any directors choose these songs?
Just a gift. I almost think it'd be the coolest job in movies to come up with it, But he does it in a good way. A lot of times people talk about Scorsese. His soundtracks, they're very good and they're very memorable, but they're almost like too on the nose. Like the lyrics will match like literally what's happening. Tarantino stuff is like music you've never even heard before, but you're like, yep, that's the perfect sound for right now.
Yeah, it's incredible. Being direct, Mark. Being direct. This is an art that has been lost. Everybody is afraid to say what they think. Instead of, Brené Brown in her book, the best thing I took from it is clear is kind, unclear is unkind. If you're unclear with your daughter on what you expect from her, that's not kind. You think you're being kind. That's not kind. I like when Aldo says is he's going to take that bat of his and beat your ass to death with it. You know exactly what's going to happen. He's going to take that bat of his and beat your ass to death with it. And guess what he does? He beats his ass to death with it. Here's the other thing about like the music and everything. I just want to be in the head of Tarantino or whatever the case may be in picking names.
Oh.
Aldo Rain, Bridget von Hammersmark, Donnie Donowitz, Shoshana, Hans Landa, Archie Hickox, Frederick Zoller, Hugo Stieglitz, Wilhelm Wicke. Where do they come up with these, Mark? How do they come up with these names? Vincent Vega. How do they come up with these names in these movies?
Insane. I took it a step further. It's just the Hall of Fame plaque for best nicknames in a movie. Just tremendous job. I couldn't come up with these things. I have not a creative bone in my body. I'm definitely
like, all right,
right-brained.
Here's our antagonist, our protagonist.
Jim Smith.
Bob Winder. I don't know how they do that. It's amazing. That's what I got. That's what I got for holds up. I got more. A lot of these blend together. So we'll wait for questions and all that.
All right, more what's hold up from me. Look, I love a narrator. Here you get a little narration, and you get Sam Jackson doing it. The ultimate. Look, Tarantino's got to get Sam Jackson in the movie. You get a little narration from that. I talked about Pitt's accent. I'm not sure if it's good, it's bad. I'm not really sure what he's doing, but it held up for me. I like it. I mentioned it. A great opening scene. We think that's the best scene of the movie. I like the way he just jumps right into it. You just know what's happening. And his ability, Tarantino's greatest gift, is his ability to write dialogue and create tension from it. He's the master of a 10, 15-minute scene where dudes are just sitting at a table, and it's the most compelling thing you've ever seen versus Tom Cruise running, jumping on a plane, doing this, doing that, which I love. Nobody loves Tom Cruise more than me. But the ability, I don't think there's another director or a movie maker that can do that. There's just nobody that can do Hans Landa and La Petite sitting at a table for 10 minutes, and it's the most compelling thing you've ever seen, right?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's a skill that's honed, right? I mean, like what Jerry Seinfeld says is he writes comedy every single day. It's his job. He writes it. So there's probably a little bit of that. We think these guys that are savant, we think Tiger Woods just walks out there, puts the peg on the ground and shoots 63. More work goes into that than we think.
Another back surgery, Bob, for the GOAT. Is it done? I had him at 16 majors, Bob. Are we just done here with the GOAT?
I think we're done, Mark. Although,
does he tee it up another? Like, is he going to continue to try this?
Well, we always said that he'd always win another one because that means he's either going to quit or he dies, and I would say he would die first. That's what I would say he does. Here's the thing, though. Like, this guy Tom Watson will, still peg it on the British Open and, scare some people. I mean, he should have won that one, 4 or 5 years ago.
One more. I'm sticking it to it. You hear it here first. Not even a podcast prediction. I think, look, if the guy continues to tee it up, he thinks somewhere in the back of his head he can win it. And you just get hot. We talked about strudel, Bob, so we don't need to bring that up in the questions. I've got a few, Bob, but you are a leader in the clubhouse with questions here, mostly related to the plot. This is not Bob's big question, Bob. What do you got?
That's right. In the opening scene, are we sure that's not John Rahm playing?
La Petite? Yes, a very John Rahm-esque looking guy.
Are we positive that that's not John Rahm? Look, if he would have swung, I would have known if it was him. He's got a very deliberate swing. What happens to John Rahm?
Look, I think he is the biggest casualty. Look, you and I are avowed live. Oh, do you mean La Petite or John Rahm?
I don't mean. Listen, I gave my view.
Yeah, well, let's get off of that. La Petite. Apparently, the guy. Look, I'd forgotten that he lets him live. I'm shocked Hans Landa didn't kill him. I guess he just gives him up and he goes about his day, right?
How do you know he lives?
Well, we don't see him killed on camera.
That's my point.
Oh, Man, look, Hans Landa.
No chance.
You think he kills La Petite? Okay, La Petite dead. I'm writing it down. Dead.
Because he came in. He's been hiding Jewish people, and that's this guy's job. Hans Landa's not satisfied with killing the Jewish people. He's going to kill people that harbor I think John Rahn's dead.
So La Petite did not go to live. He's dead. Okay, got it.
He's
Great
dead.
take by you.
All right. So how long? Okay, you already mentioned this. So this is to the plot. This is kind of this could have been Bob's Big, or it could have been in here. How long do you last after the Bear Jew is explained to you, and then he comes out knocking that bat? I mean, how long do you last? What do you do?
Give me the map. Give me the map. I'm showing you exactly where they are. Look, I know I'm getting the tattoo, but I can, I can burn that. I can do whatever I want. I can't do much with a bashed skull, right?
Golly.
That seems to be, that was my question. Like the bashing of the head. Are there worse ways to go down?
Oh, I can think of worse. I think of worse ways.
Well, I mean, name one.
I don't know. In a vat of acid, feet first. Getting run over by a Zamboni, feet first. Anything where you can, because you would hope you're immediately done.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking all right, if I'm getting run over by the Zamboni, it's just awful for 20 seconds as it's crushing my. But you're hoping the one crack to the skull I'm out.
I hope a dime baseball can really turn on one. Yeah, I hope he gets his hips into it and the lights are out immediately. That's what you would hope.
Okay.
Either way, I'm putting on the uniform, and now I'm with you. I'm pointing right where they're at. Pointing right where they're at.
The game's up.
Yeah, the game is up. What's Aldo the Apache sniffing through the whole movie? What's he sniffing?
I had the exact same thought. What is that? Is it like just, is he like snuffing nicotine up the nose? It's the only thing I could, because like these guys didn't have like cocaine back then. Was it just like nicotine straight into the nostril?
Is it like smelling salts or something?
Yeah, not fully fleshed out.
Hold on. What is Aldo sniffing?
Is this Grok or is this ChatGPT?
It's just Google here.
Just Gemini?
Powdered snuff is dried tobacco leaves that have been ground into a fine powder and
so we're
inhaled
kinda right.
through the nose.
There you go. Nicotine, basically. Yeah, all right. It's a tobacco. Okay.
Huh.
Never seen it before, but it's a thing.
God, I hate anything up my nose. Why did Mike Myers need to be in this movie?
I wrote that down. Mike Myers is in this movie? Strange. Very strange.
Yeah, why do that? It almost just, and no offense against Mike Myers, guy's created some great work, but it almost, this is not a comedy. Like, not a lot of this is made for comedic laughs, but that one just took me out of the movie completely.
It's exactly what I was going to say. It did kind of like, wait, that's Mike Myers. I don't know. Where in 09 are we in the gold member, thing?
Right in the thick of it, I would think. Like, so, yeah.
He didn't need to be in it, to your point. Right.
Yeah, he did not. Why did Shoshana need to die?
Why did everybody died in this damn thing? I mean, no one's left standing at this movie.
Well,
it was a dumb death. Shoshana, look, questions. You can't, kill Zoller, then they'll feel sorry for him and walk over to him, finish him. He's a Nazi. Finish him.
Yeah, well, she's not a professional killer, so maybe she just doesn't know how that works. But my next question, do Margarete and what's the guy's
DeSico.
No, De Coco. De Coco. They lie too? They're the last thing.
Dead. They're all dead. Yeah, Operation Kino. I had some questions. Well, I guess they don't. Operation Kino doesn't know Shoshana's got this other plan going on, but no one survives that cinema. The whole thing blows up. They're all dead.
Does the whole thing? Is it the whole thing blows up? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's all because there's that dynamite in Hitler's,
I know.
box up there.
I just don't know, why does Shoshana need to die? I don't understand that.
Not many people made it out of there.
And then I'll put this in questions because that's something to do with it. All right, I'm going to give you the words that are described by Aldo the Apache, and I'm going to say which one do you like better?
Not Bob's big question. This is just a question. Okay.
Yeah. Nazi or Nazi?
Nazi's great.
Are you just going to pick all of what Aldo says? Is that what you're going to say?
Well, I don't know. I think Nazis is good.
Okay. Airplane or aeroplane?
I mean, I have always enjoyed aeroplane.
All right. Indian or engine?
Well, I think we've discussed this on the spot. Engine is the proper term.
Yeah. Direct or direct?
I am going to go with everything Aldo said. Give me something Aldo I didn't like. I don't think there is.
Status or status?
Aldo.
Business or business?
Business. Come on, we've started that before Aldo did.
Delight or delight?
Aldo, undefeated.
Pretty or purdy?
Purdy. Come on.
It's all Aldo.
He's incredible, Aldo.
He's a great character. Great character. All right, you win. That was a test. It was all going to be Aldo. That was a test.
It all had to be Aldo. All right, what do I have? What question? Well, we talked about smoking a pipe. Scalping, Bob? What is it? Like American Primeval really brought us back to scalping. What are your thoughts on scalping, Bob?
So let me before I answer that question, in American Primeval, it is a yeoman's task to take a man's scalp. In this one, they're just like the whole scalp is gone, which is more authentic.
Well, to your point, American Primeval, it really made you like, wow. Like scalping ain't for the faint of heart. And the guys were like alive when they're like ripping their head. Just looked awful. American Primeval is probably more realistic.
Every person who wants to claim we're on stolen land, which technically we are on conquered land, needs to read a book. And I'm not saying American Primeval is history, but those Indians and they were bad men. I'm sure when the white man came, it was bad. No doubt about it. Like, it was, I'm sure it was bad. But that's what happens. Lands get conquered. It's never pretty. Nobody's in the right or wrong. But these engines, oh my, I read a book. It was terrifying. I'm talking terrifying. So yeah, American Primeval, it made it seem like, wow, if you're going to take a man's scalp, you are cut from a different cloth. We just, we got Ryan from The Office just like, and then he's going to scalp.
Yeah, I'm sure it ain't as easy. Your knife's not that sharp. The human scalp, it's got to be.
Oh, man.
Got to be kind of rough.
He's like calm talking while he's doing it. He's like, yeah.
So
my views on scalping.
Yeah. What do you say on that?
I don't, the man's already dead. I mean, I guess you can do what you want. I mean, to the victor go the spoils, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, history is written by the winners.
Yeah.
So Hugo Stiglitz, who's a great character.
Yeah.
But so they're in that tavern. I mean, I realize everybody in Germany doesn't know who that guy is, but this is a pretty high-ranking SS officer that comes out. Wouldn't you kind of know who Hugo was?
Yeah, I just don't know. How did he get that? It's not on the internet. They didn't get a tweet that says it, but it's a great point. Like, he's a very well-known traitor.
Correct.
A very well-known traitor. That's another great scene when you break him out. He goes, seems you've been good at killing Nazis, but you've been into amateurs, trying to see if you want to make the big leagues. And he's like, he shakes his head and gets him out.
And then for as much of a badass as Hans Landa is, right, kind of two steps ahead, he thinks through everything. Shouldn't he have kind of thought through this surrender at the end, right?
I mean, I think he knows he's not going to die. Yeah, you're probably right. He kind of gets duped. Maybe he's not as smart as we think he is. I don't just because he speaks a bunch of languages. Maybe he's not as smart as we think he is.
Exactly. That wraps up questions, Bobby. Let's hand out some awards. We start, as always, with the Denzel Washington Award for the biggest badass in the movie, Bobby.
I went back and forth on this one. I guess it's between Landa and Aldo.
Bear Jew?
No. I think it's
Aldo. The Bear Jew.
We can't give an award to a Nazi. We can't give any awards to Nazis, right? Any good award. We can't give any good awards to a Nazi. So yeah, it's Aldo the Apache.
All right, I go Bear Jew, who's going to win a lot for me, I think. The Matthew McConaughey Award for the best scene stealer of the movie. Mike Myers was in it, but again, not great. It came down to two for me, Bobby. The Bear Jew and B.J. Novak, because he's Ryan from The Office, but the Bear Jew, correct?
Yeah, the Bear Jew, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right, you've kind of teased this. One of my favorite, Bob, new awards. The Don Corleone Award for the best leadership advice in the movie. Aldo, to me, it's Aldo for a slew of things that he's just kind of throwing out there. But just, I liked his clarity of mission. You all owe me 100 scalps. Like, that's just like, this is your job. Let's just go do it. He's defending his guys. He's interrogating people. He is on the mission. Things go south. We are on the mission. We're killing Nazis. We will not stop till we get to the end. But do you have anything specific, Bobby, from Aldo?
Yeah, when he's with Wilhelm. No trust, no deal. No trust, no deal, Wilhelm. And then the greatest piece of advice, because this is, and I think I'm getting through to my kids with this one, the greatest piece of advice you can give almost anyone, but especially your kids, is it says, you know how you get to Carnegie Hall, right? Practice. It's the greatest quote ever. It's what I'm trying to instill in my kids. Like, hey, I can't do the backflip on the beam yet. Yet. The most powerful world is practice, right? So, you know how you get to Carnegie Hall, right? Practice. Aldo the Apache. Way ahead of his time.
But not yet.
But not yet.
The big Tom Callahan Award, Bobby, for the best parent. This was tricky.
Well, you just don't, anybody in this movie, is it the character they are in this movie, or is it when they go home? I mean, Aldo the Apache, really good advice, really good perspective, a good leader of men, respected, and he's just doing his job out there killing Nazis. So I think it's Aldo the Apache.
I can go with it. I went with Winston Churchill. He's in. I don't think he says a word, but he's there. The best parent. All right, now, Bobby, for the Jenny Award for the worst parent, we're going to go non-Hitler divition. I think we've debated that. Like, if Hitler's, what movie was it? We're like, well, okay, Hitler's in the movie.
He's
the worst parent. Non-Hitler division.
Non-Hitler division?
Yeah, I went with Hans Landa as the worst parent, but
you did? No, you
yes.
go, because I had Hitler, because I forgot about the non-Hitler.
Yeah, I went Hans Landa. In the non-Hitler division, Hans Landa, the worst parent.
So again, it's impossible to make this argument. I'm not going to say it, but
He's just doing his job.
Is he just doing his job? Not that I condone it, not that I like it, not that I do anything, but who's to say that a high-ranking official in this thing can't go home and be a good, loving, disciplinarian parent to his kids? I don't know.
Are you abstaining?
I'm gonna go with a tearful no vote, like AOC. I'm gonna go with a tearful no vote.
A tearful no vote. The eBay award from the item from the movie you'd most want. I already told you, Hans Landa's pipe. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I had forgotten this oversized, gigantic pipe that he has that he's smoking out of. I don't really want it. I need that pipe. What do you got?
Now, I don't know the words on it, and the words are probably not good, but that big map of Europe behind Hitler, and it's like, I wonder what it says. I think that would be cool, unless it says, like, death to everyone. But there's nothing like a big map. Like, I got this map of golf courses I've played. I like a big map, so I like that one.
Big map. I like
now,
it.
Unless it says something like, bad on it. So
okay, a lot of disclaimers here with the Nazis.
Yes, and listen, I don't care if Hans Landa was just doing his job. Let me just put that out there. I don't care if he was just doing his job.
Plenty of bad decisions in this film. What would win the Terrence Howard Award, Bobby, for the worst decision?
So we're starting to plan our 2027 Scotland golf trip. Me, you, Uncle Jeff, and Aunt Michelle, and the wives. And we're like, Mary's like, do we need to take separate flights? Now, because if we all go down, Olivia and Sam, but Chelsea and Ellie are old enough. I mean, I would, if I died, I would have no problem giving my kids to Chelsea. I think she would be an unbelievable mom. She would do an unbelievable. So I think we're a little less in the dark now, but ultimately you can't have everybody of importance in one place. So maybe the decision is to put every single person of the high command in one tiny little theater. It's probably something they wouldn't do. Probably the worst decision.
Yeah, that kind of hung over the back half of the film. Like, would they really even do this?
Right.
Yeah, that was bad. I had Shoshana feeling sorry for Zoller at the end. I mean, like, this guy is this dude.
He's a Nazi.
He's a bad Nazi. Should have shot him. Bob, before we get into your big question.
I thought you were going to say the guy not giving up his buddies in the orchard. It's just a bad decision. You're not getting out of this thing.
Correct, for sure. There's some honor in it. But, Bob, do you have an Edward the Longshanks award from Just Doing My Job? Or are we abstaining?
I think I'm going to tearfully no vote. I'm going to no-show. I'm going to abstain on that one for a lot of different reasons.
a proper move. Well, in lieu of that, it's time, Bobby. It's time for your big questions from Inglourious Basterds.
Did we do Rudy Sack? Or are we skipping that one, or we do that later?
That's always after Bob's big questions.
Geez, I can't keep it all straight.
I know.
Mark, so John Rahm is on this dairy farm, and he's got 3 very grown adult children, and the house is about 400 square feet. When did houses get bigger? And why have they become so big? It's all relative, right? People's houses are bigger than others. But, I mean, when did houses get so big? When does it end? When does the size of this house end?
Well, I think it's a uniquely American thing, and I think it started in the 80s when we were just born in the USA. Reagan, Rocky, Rambo, that's when America was America. We said, you know what, Bob? We don't just need places to live in our house. We need places we never go in the house. That's when it started.
It's true. Like,
like right you there, Bob. You're the only time you ever set foot in this particular part of your home is to do this podcast.
I'm a professional podcaster, Mark. I'm a professional podcaster.
It serves no purpose
I got
in your home.
And sometimes when I want to watch something with volume after everyone goes to bed, I'll come up here. But yes.
Oh, don't even get me started with the volume. So I'm to this point now. There's 2 of us, Bob, in this house. Plenty of space. But I want to watch a ball game at night. The worst offender of this was the Cubs. They like to. They're out of it. They'd have given a better fight to the Dodgers. But we get these like 9:08 first pitch. So I'm trying to watch the ball game, sitting down there. And of course, Lily's trying to go, turn it down, turn it down. I'm like, it's down, it's down, it's down. We need places, this is the perfect example. We need places in the house where you just watch a ball game at a late hour.
That's what that whole story
I'm
was?
done.
I thought there was some big culmination of a great story. Like you were getting divorced, you were buying another house. No, everything's good.
No.
Everything's good. Yeah, it's just, Sam is, bigger than Lily now. And at some point he's going to, like the Colucci, at some point he's going to be just big and smelly and just
big oaf. And
then his buddies will come up. Like, what do you do when there's like 5 adult human beings in this house? Well, you know what we do? We just get a bigger house, Mark.
Just get a bigger house, Bob.
You just keep spending money. You just keep spending money. I already talked about what happens to John Rahm, not on the Live tour. I mean, in the movie. I think he's
La
dead.
Petite.
All right, so he compares the Germans to eagles and the Jewish people to rats. Mark, what animal? Now, I've asked you this before, and it's almost kind of like, what animal do you wish you were? And you said a lion, which is good. Okay. But if someone were to describe Mark, so, well, I won't say it. Mark, what animal would you be described as?
An eagle.
An eagle, just like the Germans, the Nazis.
Oh, I don't mean it that way. I thought, I probably shouldn't be described as that. I was thinking something kind of, stoic. Kind of looking up above, kind of surveying the situation, and then when time to pounce. Yeah, come on in there. Something like that.
Well, on the show, you've said that you don't love talking to people, so I thought you were going to take like a hermit crab or something, like a barnacle. Like you're more like a barnacle. Is a barnacle an animal? I don't even know.
A barnacle.
All right, Mark, let's flesh it out here. And I know we've talked about this before. Is Brad Pitt a good actor? We know he's hot, so everybody relax. We're not asking who's hot or not. Is he a good actor?
I think he's incredible. I don't think there's a performance of his that I have never enjoyed. He does a lot of stuff, right? Like he's not like it'd be easy for Brad Pitt. Like George Clooney, who a lot of people think is great, is just George Clooney in every movie, right? Like he's just Pitt is kind of like a wild card. He's doing all that stuff. Now I get what you're saying. I'm not really sure exactly what he's doing in this film, but I think Pitt is extraordinary. I do. And he's very good looking.
He's incredibly good.
By the question, you're obviously questioning his acting chops.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis is watching his movies being like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, we're in the same profession. Seriously.
Well, I don't think he's on that level. He's not, like Chris Pine to me is a better actor probably than Pitt. But Pitt's got a unique combination of physicality, good looks, wit, charm, funny. He's the best of us, Bob. Brad Pitt.
He's the best of us. All right, Mark. Do you keep your knives sharp enough where if I asked you to scalp a man right now, it could do it? Every knife in my house couldn't cut a damn tomato. How do you keep knives sharp? Mark,
it's impossible. It's an ongoing battle I've got. I've taken them to professional sharpeners. I bought the at-home sharpening kit. I got it for Christmas last year, and I'm always like, it's really difficult to keep a knife sharp. I don't know how they do it out there in the wild,
I got a great gift from Uncle Jeff for Christmas. It's a great pocket knife. And when this sucker, when I opened it, it could cut air. Like if you just breathed into it, it would cut your lip. Like it was almost like I can't use this. It's too sharp. Now I could lick it and nothing happens to me. I've sharpened it. I've done everything. It's just an ongoing battle. That's why I think American Primeval is it's just
like a dull knife trying to rip through skin. Yeah. Ryan from The Office is just filleting meat.
Yeah. It's we've already talked about his smoking cool. But on that same note, Shoshana is in this cafe. Mark, how long could you sit in a cafe, no AirPods, and drink a coffee and read a book, just yourself? She's sitting in that cafe. It looks like she could stay there for 7 hours. And there's people that can. Mark, how long?
I can't. So a
No
book.
AirPods, no podcast, no music, a book and a cup of coffee, and no one else.
2.7 seconds. I don't. I'm very impatient.
Golly. That's
I
why
envy people. I envy people that can do it.
Just not a care in the damn world. The only place I can do it is at the beach. I put my chair where you sit in the sand, where your feet, the waves are coming over you. I read a whole book at the beach. It was fantastic, very enjoyable. Only place in America that a book can be read.
Look at you. Good for you.
That's it, Mark. That's all I got.
Now is the Rudy Sack Award, Bob. This is the time of the program. We get the Rudy Sack Award, the most emotional moment of the movie.
Yeah, it's when Londa comes up on Shoshana's shoulder right before the strudel scene, when he's got to vet her. The music, it's like this high-pitched violin. She knows it's him immediately. He obviously doesn't know it's her, but I think that was the most emotional part of the movie.
Very good. I just went with the ending, the masterpiece quote. I've always liked that, and I like that it ended there. I'm thinking in my head, it had been a minute since I've seen this, like, is there something like post this kind of nonsense? Are we going to do something? Whoop, cut to credits. I liked it. Made me happy. One of the GOATs directed this thing, Bob. So look, Tarantino's movies are the ones that you could never envision. Like Spielberg's not spitting this out.
No.
Nolan, Scorsese, none of these guys. So we don't even need to cover that. I loved the ending of this thing. I thought it had an opportunity to drag it out. Didn't. We get the whole negotiation between Aldo and Landa back. We get you're foreshadowing the swastika being carved into the guy's forehead, which just looks awful. He's gripping earth and just pulling it out. But the ending to me was very well done. You?
Yeah, nothing to change there, and I do like the way it ended. It's perfect.
I kept my Hall of Fame plaques kind of tight here, Bob, just because a lot of these guys from this movie, like if I asked you, what Daniel Brug's, Hall of Fame plaque was, I don't even know what we would talk about. Yeah. Quentin Tarantino, I think we've said over and over again, is pulp. It might not be his best movie, but it's pulp, and it's going to continue to be Pulp Fiction, correct?
100%.
Christoph Waltz, so we've done it because we did Django, and I said on that pod that Hans Landa was his Hall of Fame plaque because I'll never forget that he was Hans Landa. I don't know that I could have told you that his name was King Schultz in Django. It's still probably his Hall of Fame plaque, but I think he's better in Django. So Hans Landa stays his Hall of Fame plaque, but I like his performance in Django better. What would you say?
100%. He's Hans Landa. No matter how good he was in Django, he's Hans Landa.
Pitt, I know we've covered him, and I just think you said it was him like in Fight Club, just shredded, -0.3. I think Pitt's the only guy who has less body fat than Sam on him right now. But is there anything other for Pitt? It's just him in Fight Club. It's Tyler Durden, right?
Yeah, and 7. I think him, the final scene.
The ending of 7?
The ending of 7 is incredible, Brad Pitt.
Well, I know you love Meet Joe Black, Bob. Does he get in there in any way, shape, or form?
He says, I'll cry right now, on cue. Not a man like you. Not a man like you. Amazing.
That was all I had, Bobby. Your Hall of Fame plaques.
Hall of Fame plaque for best accent. Okay, there's a ton of accents, ton of languages in this. We've done this before.
We've done this, right? We've done it. Boston? Does Boston typically win? Or no. It's the what do you call it? The
Cockney. The Cockney.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the leader.
But I don't think it won last time. I'm going to save my last one for what I think won last time. So we've got the French accent. Speaking Kings, I love what he talks about. Well, if this is going to be it, old chap, do you mind if I speak in the Kings? The English accent.
That is good.
Southern, Creole, Minnesota, Australian, Irish, Cockney, Boston, Austrian, or what I think won last time was South African.
That is the coolest accent, South African.
Wow, that's it. No discussion, that's it.
I think it is. If it won last time, let's go with it. I mean, I love all the other ones, but man, when you hear those dudes ripping it off, like Blood Diamond, that's pretty good.
So good. Mark, what's the best French word? Now, we don't like the French. I don't think we can we still say that? We don't like the French. We don't like the French. Jobe not mentioned already, but he just got back from France.
Is he French?
No, he just got back from France. He's retired. He went to Paris for no reason.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course.
What's the best French word? Oui?
Pretty good.
Merci? au revoir, lumière, which means light, panache, or amour.
I think it's between oui and merci. I'll go oui. Oui?
We.
Right, oui.
I think we did in one podcast we did best word for yes, and we was in there.
Oui? Oui. I like it. Yeah, it's good.
All right, I got two great categories here. I'll do this one first.
Exciting.
Greatest Jew of all time. We can say Jew, right? Best Jewish person of all time. Now, I left out actors. Every single actor is Jewish. It's amazing. I just put in because I said greatest Jewish person of all time. I got a good list, and then I was like, well, there's not a lot of actors. I put greatest Jewish actors. It's basically all of them. Which was
this is the greatest Jewish person, and is Jesus part of this?
Great point. So so when you do it, Google says Jesus and Moses, not and Abraham. So Jesus is, you know how we took the Nazis out?
Okay. This is the non-Jesus division?
This is the non-Jesus, Moses, Abraham division.
Okay. That's probably fair. That's probably fair. All right. In history. Okay, I'm ready. I feel this has got to be a good list.
I'm gonna leave out who I think will win because I think it'll taint everything else. So you got Karl Marx. You got Sigmund Freud. Bob Dylan. Steven Spielberg, I had to put him in there. Yeah. Sandy Koufax, Mark Spitz, Stanley Kubrick, Woody Allen, the Coen brothers, and Albert Einstein. I'm positive our Jewish listeners are going to email us and be like, are you insane? You missed this person. It was just a Google search, guys. It was just a Google search. Greatest Jewish person.
Wow, that's non-Jesus division. I mean, look, Spielberg is, he's given me a lot of joy in my life, so we write that. Spitz, but, he's been eclipsed by Phelps at this point, but I don't think Phelps is Jewish, so Spitz, good for you. Einstein, I mean, do we have gravity without Einstein? I'm not really positive. Time travel, we're eventually getting Spielberg. Greatest Jewish person in history.
Better than Albert Einstein.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have space travel yet. And I feel like if he was really good, he would have come up with it. I mean, right? He was there. He's got this. What I love about Einstein, like E equals MC squared. All right, great. Has that helped me? Spielberg's giving me E.T.
So Albert Einstein, underrated, overrated, properly rated? I think I know the answer.
He's properly rated. I mean, we're just underrated, overrated. All
right, Mark.
Great question.
Best Quentin Tarantino character of all time, and I don't think we did this. Yeah, it's Hans Landa.
Tough.
Hans Landa, Aldo Raines, Vincent Vega, Jules, Mia Wallace, The Bride, Cliff Booth, Rick Dalton. Monsieur Calvin Candy, Rango, The Wolf, Mr. Blonde, and King Schultz.
Wow.
Greatest Quentin Tarantino character of all time.
I'll go off the wall and say The Wolf. Just because it's just like a little bit part, kind of steals that movie, The Wolf. You? What would you say?
I don't
That's
know.
Tough.
Monsieur Candy is...
Monsieur Candy.
Diabolical. He's diabolical.
I did like Django. He's good. Yeah, that's a tough one. I would just go with The Wolf just because it's like a really bit part, but really kind of stand out. And probably
a loaded category.
Movie,
that's
probably.
it, Mark. Great job.
So going into this, you would think Hans Landa would be the MVP of this thing. He's important. Look, if you're going to have a villain in a movie, you need a really good one to make the thing work. Did Aldo steal it for you, though, Bobby? Who is or is it just Tarantino?
Well, let's just, no, I think it's Aldo Raines. Aldo is incredible in this movie.
He is good. Yeah, I think Hans Landa was better in my memory. And Aldo, I knew Pitt was in it, but Aldo, to your point, was like, just get him back on the screen. I need more Aldo.
No doubt.
Even though I'm not really sure what he was doing with the accent, with the mouth. The whole thing, Bobby. It was great revisiting Bastards. I've got a couple of things here for you, Bobby. Look, the coaching carousel in college football is hot. But first, POScast predictions, Bobby. We haven't even talked about this on this pod. Task. Incredible show. on HBO. I love when a little miniseries catches fire and you're like, man, you got to watch this thing. I told you, I think we were watching a game the other night, like, have you watched Tash? You're like, no. I'm like, you got to watch it. You got ahead of me. Like, in like 24 hours, you watched 9 episodes or whatever. The finale happens tonight. You could argue the finale happened last week, but we've still got some loose ends, Bobby. I think there are 3 main characters.
So this is a spoil. Are we going to spoil some things here? So if you haven't,
because it's not over. Yeah, it's not over. Go ahead.
If you haven't watched Task, you got to fast forward this. Do not listen to this.
So there are 3 main characters left. Robbie Prendergast, who's played by, is it Tom Pelphrey? Bob, the guy from Ozark, out of this world in this show. He's incredible. He dies in the penultimate. Here you go, Bobby. Penultimate episode. Well, we've got some loose ends to tap into, Bobby. So I got three characters. Do they live or die tonight? Tom Brindis, played by Mark Ruffalo. Does he survive the finale?
Dies.
Tom is dying. Wow, that's a bold. I thought he was the dead giveaway to not die. All right, so Tom is going to die. Maeve, which is kind of, Robbie's, what was that? Be her like niece. She's got the cash. She's in charge of the family at this point. But look, those dark hearts are going to come looking for her. Does Maeve survive?
Lives.
All right, now, our guy, your guy, DJ Grassanova, a character that I've loved in this thing. You've seen him on House of the Dragon. I was always like, where's this guy from? He's from House of the Dragon. Does DJ Grassanova survive the finale?
Dies. That's minus 500.
That's the most obvious that Grassanova died. Tom, I think, is out of left field.
Tom's dying, and it's going to be. There's going to be a reunite. I think there's going to be a reuniting of the family. He and everyone is going to testify to get his son out. There's going to be a reuniting. This is unbelievable. This is going to work. This is going to work. And then he's going to die, which is really going to be heartbreaking.
That's going to be a tough one to watch. Let's end up, Bobby. Billy Napier, as of the recording, and literally right before we went to record this episode, has been let go by the Florida Gators following a win, which is shocking, but things were just not going well. And I think once Penn State fires James Franklin, who, look, he didn't do really good in the big games, but I think he's the 3rd winningest coach this decade in college football. You probably have to make a move. Bobby, rank the coaching priority list out there. These are big jobs now. I mean, Penn State, say what you want about them. Florida Gators, say what you want about them. These are jobs you can win a title at. These are big, big, big programs.
And who's the first call? We're assuming Norvell's buyout is too big. He stays?
I mean, could you imagine beating Alabama in a season and being fired? It probably has never happened before. Let's assume Norvell survives. Johnny G says he survives. Too big of a buyout. They're not going to do it. Florida, Penn State. You still got these other jobs like Oklahoma State is out there. I mean, these big jobs. Not as big as these. But Penn State and Florida, these are 2 of the top 10 jobs in America. Yeah. First call. Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, but, talking about James Franklin, I can't agree more with the GOAT, Nick Saban. He's just like, it's unfair because the expectations that they're pissed you didn't get to are the ones that you set. It's such a great point. It's like they're expecting to win national championships, not because of what they've done in the past, because what they've done in the past is an absolute nightmare disaster for decades. He comes in, but his record is, it's almost like some of these Barry Bonds and Tony Gwynn stats you see. You're like, that can't be real. His stats versus good teams it's almost unbelievable how bad it is. So, I don't know why you need to do it in the beginning of the year or the middle of the year. It's I don't know. It's just almost a slap in the face to the guy. Let the guy finish the year if you're going to, but whatever. But I think the main guy is Lane Kiffin. And if you're Florida, we've said this before, it's just, you keep naming a price until he says yes. And, I know he's kind of a feel-good story. He's kind of changed his life there at Ole Miss, and he'll never leave. And I hope he doesn't, and I hope Cignetti doesn't leave Indiana either, because both of those guys have kind of said, hey, I've never wanted to chase the job. And I hope for the soul of America, they just don't sell out like everybody else does. But hey, Lane, there's no number that's not worth it. There's no number that's not worth it, because what has Billy Napier done and the success of that football program, what has it done in lost revenue to that school? how much money did Nick Saban make Alabama? It's uncalculable. So how much money has Billy Napier lost to the university? That's just good. I mean, that seems like that's being mean, but there's a number to it. There's a quantifiable number, and it's probably more than what you would need to pay the second best coach you could get to what you get Lane Kiffin. So just offer him $15 million a year for however many years you want, and, it is what it is, because I think he's the best guy out there.
I agree.
Signetti does nothing for me. It's unbelievable what he's doing at Indiana. Apparently the guy can coach, but I don't know if you stick him in the SEC, does the same thing. I'm not being a SEC homer. We've seen Kalen DeBoer. We talked about this. Was, oh my gosh, look at this guy's record. This guy might be the next Newt Rockne, and he's taken a little time. He's finally figured it out. But I just don't know if Signetti takes over a Florida program and does what he's doing in Indiana. I just don't think so.
Yeah, I think if you're Florida, you just keep 10. You get to a point where he's going to say yes, and I think you get him. And I think he is the closest thing to Steve Spurrier that exists. He's exciting. He's funny. He's young. To your point, I don't think he's going to go. It seems like he's kind of found a place. Look, he was the brash, up-and-coming guy. The Tennessee thing was a disaster. He was in the NFL. He was like a disaster. He's had some disasters, and he's found a spot at Ole Miss where he's revered. They'll probably never fire him. He's making a great living. He's in Mississippi. It's probably great. But I think if you're Florida, you've just got to back up the truck and try to get him. All that being said, Bobby, does Florida land the plane on this, or is it just some guy you're just like, eh?
No, I don't, because I don't think Kiffin's leaving, or unless actually I hope Kiffin doesn't leave again for a little bit of hope in humanity. Marcus Freeman, for all we talked about him, this guy actually, he can win games, and it's still not easy to win at Notre Dame. So I would think, Penn State, that's who Penn State should hire. I mean, they keep saying Matt Rule, all right, okay, I'm sure he's good. Yeah, I'm sure he's good, but this guy at Georgia Tech, Brent Keaton, I think they got a special quarterback. They got kind of a once-in-a-generation quarterback at this Georgia Tech place. But, I mean, that guy's getting it done. The guy at South Florida, unfortunately, that's who I think Florida ends up with.
That's a great point. That's who winds up going there, and it's just like, whatever.
Yeah. That's what we got.
Well, there you have it, Bobby Inglourious Basterds. Good to be back with you. Go Bears. 4 in a row. Why not us, Bobby?
Why not us?
Why not
Why not
now? See you next time on the POScast.